need to repeat the skills and the behaviours of the person we want to become. We don't want to bite off more than we can chew. You just do the middle bit without even thinking about it. A commitment to make that is outside of ourselves. This is the one nut that if you can crack, I can guarantee. Hello everybody, welcome to another video. If you're new, my name is Joanna Wilson. Today we've got a solo Just Chat with Jay video. I am in my head t-shirt, which I know that you are familiar with seeing after I've washed my hair and it's going curly. It's sort of sticking with the step-by-step themes of the weeks comprising my Just Work On You program. So we've done a video on purpose, we've done one on morning routines, and we've done another one on confidence. So that's week 1, 2 and 5 of the program. Today we're going to be jumping to week 6, which is consistency, and I'm going to be talking about 1, why consistency is so important, and 2, how you can build it into your life and your routine. So let's get going straight away. Basically, I think that any type of success or any type of thing that we want to achieve requires consistency. And what consistency means is basically the act of repeating a skill or a behaviour or a pattern over and over again over a prolonged period of time. I'm sure we've heard about the marginal gains theory, which is about getting 1% better every single day, and I think that ties in massively to consistency, where we need to repeat the skills and the behaviours of the person we want to become or to do the thing that we want to achieve. Now, Tony Robbins said it's not what we do once that shapes our lives, it's what we do consistently, and I couldn't agree with this more. In all areas of my life and with lots of people that I've worked with over the years, this is the one nut that if you can crack, I can guarantee that you will be able to outwork and out-succeed everyone around you by just being able to repeat the things that you want to do on a consistent basis. Now, the reason why that is because most people give up on things. As humans, we are hardwired to not see something through, to view the negative side of things, and if you can choose something that you want to be consistent in and then follow that through, you are already way ahead of lots of other people that are around you. And when I'm talking about consistent behaviours, for me it's not like moving mountains in a day. It's those little things like not snoozing your alarm on a morning, like drinking 2 litres of water a day, every single day, that then add up and accumulate to create really, really beneficial results for you. I think it's important for you guys to have a massive think about what it actually is that you want to be consistent in. What are the habits or what are the behaviours or skills or attributes that you want to commit to on a consistent basis? The second thing that you really need to think about is why are there things that you want to commit to? And the third thing that you need to think about is how are you going to commit to them? Now, we're going to speak a little bit about some tips and tricks on that how section, but before we do that, it's important that you've nailed down the why. If you say, I want to walk a mile a day, why do you want to do that? Do you want to become more healthy? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to get fitter? Do you want to use it as a mindfulness practice? That why is going to be your strongest driving force to then feed into the how are we going to make that happen. So take a moment, if you want to do it with me now, pause the video and write down a list of things that you want to commit to. Don't make that list too long. Again, we don't want to bite off more than we can chew. However, what are the things that we want to commit to? And secondly, why do we want to commit to them? Then we'll layer down and think about the how. Okay, now that we've nailed down the why, we're going to move on to the how, and I'm going to talk about 3 different areas that can help you build that how. The first one is habit formation, the second one is building an accountability system, and the third one is my 6 R's to developing and maintaining your goals. First up is habits then, and there is so much science and research behind habits, which I find absolutely fascinating and basically shows us that there is a link between a cue, a craving, a behaviour, and then a reward. When we are forming any habit, there is a cue that makes us do it. It then allows us to crave whatever it is that we are wanting to do. We carry out the behaviour of the habit, and then we get rewarded for it. Rewards are the things that then link to the cue and drive this cyclical thing that makes us go, cool, this is going to be my reward at the end, therefore I'm going to carry out that behaviour. An easy example to think about this might be a cue, your phone buzzes or vibrates or pings. The craving would be to understand what or why or where that ping had come from. The behaviour would be then to check the phone, and the reward is that little bit of dopamine that's released in your brain when you've found out the answer and you've satisfied that craving. They're sort of simple logical breakdowns for that, but every single day that we start forming a habit, we are actually carrying out those 4 things. So whether it's a positive habit for ourselves or a negative habit, I would try and identify what those things are. So for example, the behaviour for my habit might be snoozing my alarm. The cue is the alarm clock going off. The craving is I want to be back asleep. The behaviour is turning the alarm on snooze. The reward is falling back asleep. Because we know that each habit forms in those 4 sections, and essentially then the cue leads to the reward. You just do the middle bit without even thinking about it. Alarm goes off, we go back to sleep. What we can do is hack that habit system to help us form new habits by changing the cue, changing the craving, changing the behaviour, or changing the reward. But what we can do first off is identify for ourselves what are the 4 things that we are currently doing in those habits. Thinking back to the things that you want to build into your consistent routine, can you identify a habit loop with a cue, craving, behaviour and reward that you can consistently hit that will enhance that positive and consistent habit that you want to build? Now, I've just scratched the surface on the science behind habits there, and I'm sure that people have got different opinions on this and also done a lot more research than I have. But my takeaway from the habit section is understand what your current habits are and think about what habits you want to build and break them down into those 4 sections of cue, craving, behaviour, reward, and see if you can hack them. Okay, tip number 2 for building consistency in your life is accountability. Having someone or something or an area or a document to be accountable to is one of the most beneficial ways that you can build consistency in everything in your life. We are so easily able to let ourselves down. However, when we've got a chart, a tracker, a person, a commitment to make that is outside of ourselves, it allows us to focus way more on achieving the things that we want to achieve. Accountability is what ties commitment with results, and it's so important that you build a personal accountability system that is going to work for you. Whether it uses external influence, whether you create a document that allows things to be ticked off or written down or tracked, there are lots of different ways that you can build your own personal accountability system. I think it's important to try different ways as well in different mediums, and what I would suggest you do is going back to that, what are the things that you want to commit to and why you want to commit to them, then asking yourself, what does accountability look like for each of those things? So if we go back to our example of walking for a mile every single day, could we walk with somebody else so that we're committing to do that with another person and not just to ourselves? Could we put a big cross on our calendar every single day that we have to do that? And could we then even go a step further and also build it into the habit loop and say, right, every day that we do a cross, we get a reward. Every day we miss a cross, we lose that reward. Do you post an Instagram story every day when you've been for a walk and commit to doing 30 days in a row and publicly announce that? Try out different ways, but find the way that works for you to help you stay accountable and consistent with the things that you want to do and achieve. The last thing that we are going to go through with our consistency and how to build consistency in our practice is my 6 R's to help maintain and achieve our goals in life. Now the 6 R's are as follows: research, record, remind, reflect, realign, reward. So the first one is research, and for me this sort of encompasses a period of time where you are thinking about the things that you want to commit to. You are learning about them and you are spending a dedicated amount of time focusing on where you would like to be consistent in your life and what that looks like. Doing that activity that we just said, which was what are the things we want to commit to, why do we want to commit to them, and how is that going to happen? That all takes part in the research phase, which then leads very well into recording. Something that is written down is going to be far more powerful. You are going to want to stay more accountable to it than if it is just in your mind or into the universe. Write and record those goals or those things that we want to be consistent to down. Dedicate time to research them, record them. The next R is remind. How many times have you written down a goal or thought of a goal or said you're going to do something and then just literally forgotten about it? If you're anything like me, it is all of the time. This is where the third R comes in, and that is remind. You need to have your goals or your consistent habits or your accountability system somewhere that you can see them and you get reminded of them on an everyday basis. Apps are great for this because they can send you push notifications. Putting it somewhere that you walk past multiple times a day is great for this because you can see it. But reminding yourself of that consistent behaviour or that goal is going to help you work towards it. The fourth R is reflect. So as we go through the motions of achieving these things, it is really important that we always look at where we're at versus where we want to go and reflect on that. Then that leads very well into the 5th R, which is realign. They work together. So we're reflecting, we're looking at what we're achieving, we're looking at how it's going, how it's working, and then if necessary, we realign. Whether it's our accountability system, whether it's the goal itself, whether it's the consistent practices, reflect and then realign on the direction that we want to go in. The last R is reward. Now everything becomes so much more motivating when we know that there is a reward attached to it. I think it's so important that you reward yourselves along the way and then reward yourself at large when you achieve the things that you want to achieve or when you hit those consistent practices. That is going to be the thing that keeps you motivated. It's part of our habit hacking, which we spoke about earlier in the video, and actually just gives you a nice little treat for doing the things that you say you're going to do. So to go over the 6 R's again, we've got research, we've got record, we've got remind, and then we've got reflect, realign, and reward. I think this is a very awesome system to hack the things that you want to do on a consistent basis. Awesome guys, we'll leave it there. So hopefully these tips and tricks have been interesting for you to think about your consistency and how you are going to achieve consistency in the daily habits in your life. Please like and subscribe to this channel as well. The 3rd channel I think is getting so much interesting content that's been put out there by various different people, and I'd love to see that grow as much as the other channels as well during this festive period. So thank you so much for the support. Check out all the links in the description. We've got 24 available down there, which is going to help you with everything that we talk about in these solo videos that are more based around personal development. And we've also got 24% off the rest of the Just Work products. We'll see you soon. Keep smashing it, and remember, anything is possible if you just work. Bye!